So I think that's just kind of been the time for me to like really find some patience, and I've never been a patient person my entire life, so this has definitely tested me a little bit, but I think it's going to be really good for me. And like I said, I've just tried to approach it in the best way I possibly can. You know, I can't change it, and but yeah, I think my patience has definitely grown a lot, and like I said, just trying to grow and learn, and I think I've certainly done that.
They say patience is a virtue, and for Caitlin Clark and Fever fans, that patience is about to pay off in the biggest way possible. She just dropped a major update on her injury, and let's just say this isn't going to be some quiet, low-key return. No, Caitlin's comeback is about to change everything, again. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about her. Because everything that's happened while she's been out, it's exposed the WNBA, flipped the Fever's entire identity, and sparked a conspiracy theory that might actually make her even more dangerous. Let's break it all down. But first, like and subscribe for more Fever updates.
So, how did Caitlin Clark even get injured?
That's the million-dollar question. Or maybe the billion-dollar one. Caitlin was suddenly ruled out with a strained quad. Nothing too shocking, right? Happens all the time. But when the media asked her what actually happened, her answer was weird. It happened in the Liberty game. I can't really tell you the exact play. It was early, but I don't know when it happened. Hold up. You're telling me one of the most detail-oriented athletes on the planet, someone who breaks down film like a coach, can't remember the moment she tweaked her quad? Fans weren't buying it, and analysts definitely weren't either.
For weeks leading up to that announcement, Clark didn't look like herself. The step back was slower. The acceleration wasn't there. She still had flashes of brilliance, because she's Caitlin Clark, but something was off. Watch the tape from the Liberty game, or even the one before that against Atlanta. She's playing, but not fully moving. There's no pop in her legs. The elite quickness just isn't there. So when she finally sat down, people didn't just react with concern, they reacted with relief. Not because she was hurt, but because she finally stopped pushing through it. Let's not sugarcoat it. The Fever collapsed without her, at first. The first game without Caitlin was a gut punch. Sophie Cunningham called it exactly that. A gut punch. The Fever lost to the winless Mystics and looked totally disjointed. Then they followed it up with an even worse performance against the Connecticut Sun. And just when it couldn't get any more chaotic, both Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson got injured too. So now Caitlin's out, her backups are out, and the team's falling apart. At least that's what it looked like. Out of nowhere, the Fever brought in A.R. McDonald on a hardship contract.
Can you describe when you found out this opportunity would be coming for you and your emotions when that happened?
Oh man, I was very anxious. Like, it felt weird, sitting at home just watching the games this time of the year. But when I got the call, I was very excited, very blessed. It was a humble experience to join a team like the Fever, and I'm just excited and I'm ready to compete and just win.
In what ways are you trying to acclimate yourself so quickly here?
Film, watching film, seeing what the players do, the system they run, their coverages. So, it's a quick turnaround, but I'm up for the challenge. That's the part of being a pro, just being ready for just anything. And so I'm ready to add my competitiveness, my speed, and just my will to win.
What have been kind of your early impressions about both the coaching staff and this new group that you're working with now?
Yeah, just by talking to the coaches and players, just to be confident in yourself and your game, just playing free and just to, just take what the defense gave you. So I feel like they made it very easy and just simplified everything for me.
What was it like going through this first practice, just knowing tomorrow you kind of have to play?
I was a slight bit anxious, but again, it was my first day. I wasn't trying to overthink, because that's when turnovers happen or you just mess up. But just constantly playing, just not thinking too much and just calling what I'm comfortable with. But the girls did a great job of just, cheering me on and being very accepting and welcoming.
She wasn't supposed to be part of the plan, but the second she stepped on the court, everything changed. The pace picked up. The offense clicked, the energy flipped, and suddenly, the Fever looked like a different team. McDonald wasn't just a temporary Band-Aid. She became a revelation. And honestly, she might have just played herself into a long-term contract. Because when she's on the court, the Fever fight.
She's the point guard of the future for them.
Mitchell turns the corner, gets inside, and lays it in. Mitchell off the screen, launches, and buries a triple.
She gets her feet on.
Net rating. They're fourth in point differential, so
They avenged their loss to the Mystics. They put together cleaner possessions. Then came the big one, a rematch against the Chicago Sky in front of nearly 20,000 fans. And the Fever torched them. Again, combined score in 2 games versus the Sky? 62-point differential with no Caitlin, no Cunningham, no Colson, and no head coach. That's when everyone realized that this wasn't a fluke. The Fever weren't just getting lucky, they were learning how to win on their own, and that's exactly what makes Caitlin Clark's return so terrifying. Want to know the difference between hype and real impact? Tickets to Fever versus Sky with Caitlin, $82. Tickets to Sky versus Fever without her, $3. That's not just a dip, that's an 83% plummet. And yeah, Angel Reese played in both games. Didn't move the needle, didn't show up. Literally dropped just 4 more points than your local YMCA. The league can pretend it's a rivalry, but fans just saw the truth in real time. Caitlin Clark isn't just moving the needle, she is the needle. Fans are calling it out. Analysts are snapping, podcasts are melting down. She's the 43rd best player in the WNBA, and that's being generous. Meanwhile, Caitlin's sitting out and still dominating headlines, still driving resale markets, still pulling the biggest numbers even in her absence. The media tried to frame it as balanced, but the scoreboard and the ticket prices tell a different story. She hasn't just been sitting on the bench with a hoodie on. She's been analyzing, coaching, and leading. I love practice. I love competing. I miss it more than the games. That's not media training. That's real. Caitlin's obsessed with the grind. Even now, she's studying the game like a coach, sharing perspective during timeouts, mentoring teammates in halftime huddles. She's not just recovering, she's evolving. Is this a conspiracy or cover-up? Let's talk about it. Here's where the theory comes in. What if this injury didn't happen during one moment, but built up over time? What if the Fever knew she wasn't right and let her play anyway? That's not just a team decision. That's a league-wide gamble, because Caitlin Clark is literally worth hundreds of millions to the WNBA. If they pushed her too far or ignored early signs just to squeeze out another primetime game, that's not toughness. That's short-term greed with billion-dollar consequences. And based on how vague everyone's been, it's not a stretch, it's just math. Why her time off might be the best thing to happen. Here's the part I hope is true. If Caitlin Clark was only playing at 60% and still putting up 20-plus point nights, just imagine what happens when she comes back fully healthy, fully rested, fully locked in, with a team that finally knows how to play together. That version of Caitlin Clark, we haven't seen her yet. And that version might just break the WNBA. So when is she coming back? The good news is very soon. It's day by day. I feel good. I've made a lot of progress, but I'm not going to rush it. Translation? She's close. Maybe by the next game? Maybe after one more week of rest. And this time, they'll make sure she's really 100%. The Fever are winning right now. The pressure is off. So when she does return, it'll be at full strength in front of a sold-out crowd and probably with record-setting ratings. Contrast changed everything. We saw the WNBA with Caitlin Clark. Then we saw it without her. And now, we're about to see the best of both worlds. The Fever grew up, Caitlin got healthy, and the WNBA got a clear reminder of who their biggest star really is. Sometimes a little time away is all it takes to shine a bigger spotlight. And when Caitlin Clark returns, it won't just be another game. It'll be a statement. If you're still here, drop a comment if you think she'll come back even better than before. Smash that like button, subscribe for more Fever updates, and I'll catch you in the next one.